Hi, it's me again, hoping I didn't fuck up the audio. The mic sounded good when I tested it earlier, so I'm gonna assume it's working right. I'm gonna play I'm gonna do this entire stream under the assumption that my audio sounds good and is stable. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just gonna assume it looks good. The colors and the lines and in the audio box that say it's good. And I'm clicking the mouse, and it's not picking up the clicks, which is good. That's also a thing I was hoping to get rid of, and I did. So, yay. It's okay. We don't need to listen to Amadeus as much as I'd love to. I'm not going to. Okay, so I believe the trigger for this was, like, way in the earlier one. The question is, which one was it? Is it this one? It might have been this one. No, this is like a chapter start one. Hold on. No, that's wrong. I mean, I guess I could just like start over and go skip mode. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do that. I got time. All I have is time. Where's the main menu? Return to title. That's the option I'm looking for. But I also don't want to hit new game. I don't know. We'll just like load the earliest save and then just go. I also have to like remember which button is the config or help. Skip mode E. Why is it E? That's interesting. Alright. Oh yeah, also I get to... Oh, that's right! I'm so glad I'm taking this opportunity. I can check the, those wallpapers. I think I got one for the last ending, and I think I got one for the ending before that. So that's cool. Wallpaper settings. So I got... It's the fairy Oopa! Okay. And then, just like straight up Amadeus. I mean, I kind of, this one's kind of a win, honestly. Like, I do like this one. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Just like, Amadeus style. Hell yeah! Dude, that looks really good. Alright, I got a ring. About Kagri. Something bothering you? Are we get memories back? You worried about her? Okay, so this is not, I don't think this is the save I thought it was. Hold on. Yeah, no, this is... I think it was... Which one did I load? I already forgot which one I even loaded. But this one? I think I accidentally loaded this one. I meant to load this one. Just like the earliest one I could find, because... Alright, so... Ignore the heartbreaking images you are witnessing on screen. Or don't, I don't know. I don't remember what I picked last time. Does it matter? I guess we'll go, okay. Somebody, what do you think I should do about Mom and Dad? What do you mean? I just can't see them getting together like this. Well, you're right. Uncle Ocarine, is there anything you can do? You know there's nothing I can do to help with that. Yeah, you're right. It kind of hurts that you just gave up that easily. It doesn't seem to be your kind of thing, Uncle. Dude, I love these interactions.
Ma.
Boop. Alright, maybe this one was a little too early, but it's fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. Like I said, I got all the time in the world. Okay, maybe not all the time in the world. I have an amount of time. And this falls under that parameter. So, we're good. Hey boy, what's up? I believe that's when he said that. I'm gonna call my smartphone. I can't skip mode this, so I don't know if it's like because it's new, or if it's just like one of them scripted things. Oh, I see, because it's like a choice. Yeah, well, I don't think this is a thing, though. And I think I did it last time. Sure. This is the awkward part of any science adventure game where I'm just like, I don't know what to say during the lead up to the new content, you know? I don't know. To the next thing, the next. Steins Gate was great for that, because the way Steins Gate, the original visual novel is structured, the way it's structured is like, you're not really, you just save before a certain choice, and then you go to that save, and then do it the other way. There's not a lot of, like, you don't have to rehash too much from the beginning. I probably didn't need to do it this time either, but, like, because it's so linearly choice-based, it's great for that. It's not confusing like the fucking Chaos Head and Chaos Child are so bonkers, like what's the word? I guess just complicated. Like, they're so particular, that's what I'm looking for. Sorry, war happened just there. They're so particular about, like, how to get certain endings and certain routes, because it's just like, oh yes, did you pick these specific sets of delusions? No? Well, then you're locked into this ending. Did you pick this specific set of delusions, but also pick this particular one? Well, you're locked into this ending. It's like I don't know how you do that one without a guide. I truly don't. How do things go with Kurisu after that? I think I picked this one. We'll go with, can we do something about her mouth is really funny. Kurisu? She can be really nasty. It's true. She's, what do you call a tsundere? A tsundere? I don't know what that is, but are you sure you didn't just tick her off? Kurisu does not suffer fools gladly. That's certainly true. Alright, what, wait, this is not the thing yet. I'm trying to remember exactly where the... So this one... I think I always answer it if it's, like, not a, if it's not, like, a distinct, like, you don't answer for this thing, I pretty much always answer. Because I want to talk to Kurisu. I want to talk to Amadeus. Oh, Kaguri's so adorable. I love all these characters so much. I say that every time, but I'm saying it again because it's important. It's very important. Nice. Every time. Okay, this is the thing. So I'm gonna make a save just, I don't know, in case I fuck it up. It's entirely possible. Okay. Station where I was. People would stare if I did it in a crowded place. And I couldn't do it around my family or anyone I knew. Anytime it, like, skip mode is disengaged, I'll just read the thing. In that sense, with the exception of the fact that Lukako and Mayuri might show up, Yanabayashi Shrine wasn't a bad spot. Oh, because I'm supposed to actually do it, that's right. I was like... Gotcha. And then, the important factor here is to not... And I think this led to that other ending too, so I already did this. So, I think I don't answer, right? I definitely saw this, I don't know. Let me do a script thing. Yeah. He's gonna... No. I forgot to get my water. I'm so bad at this. Turn my smartphone off until I calmed down a little. It's fine until just a moment ago. Now even hearing Kurisu's voice was enough to send me into a panic. Gone back to how I was half a year ago. Again, I think I did this already. Back then, even hearing Kurisu's name was enough to make me dizzy. I shouldn't have tried to chase Kurisu's... Oh my god. This is too early for this. I don't have my water. I'm so grumpy. I'm gonna... As soon as I get to, like... I don't know. In the end, I couldn't make that decision. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take... 1 second. I fucked up already. I'm gonna grab my water. I'll be back and everything will be fine. Oh, perfect music. Nice little tune for me to leave to. There it is. I also haven't eaten anything today, which is probably gonna... That's not correct. Ignore that. That's probably gonna come back and bite me in the ass. Why didn't it stop? I wanted to read the message, damn it! I wanted to read that. It's probably not super relevant, but like, damn it, I wanted to read it. Oh, I like to get to like pick a different option. Although I probably won't even remember what I picked the first time. It usually stops at the. Whoops. Here, I can use this function, right? It's one of... Hold on, which one is it? It's this one. Oh, I guess I can't even do that here. Oh. Clickety clicks. What was I saying? Something about... Oh yeah, I like to pick the... See the messages and pick the option I didn't pick, because they're funny. Usually it stops the skip mode on the when the message goes off. It made me sad. Okay. Oh. Nope, just kidding. Okay, moving on. More clicks. So, I'm also gonna save here, I guess. I wanna open all the messages, man. Okay. Why didn't it let me see the... Oh! That's funny. Hell yeah. Awesome. I didn't even consider that. That's... Oh, well, I'm glad I went back for it. Alright. That's great. Yeah. Like it's from Mad Scientist. You know who you are. He know who he be. Alright, moving on. It's still weird that because it usually like stops the skip mode when the phone goes off. Alas. I don't want to see that. I don't ever want to see that again in my life. If I could literally never see that again in my life, I'd be so down. Maho makes the funny face. Maho B's a badass. Jesus Christ. I'm displeased. They showed it to me again. I said I didn't want to see it, game. I told you I didn't want to see it. But you didn't listen. You did not listen to me. And I feel very disrespected as a result. That's another great part of all the skip mode in a lot of these scenarios is just the rapidly changing faces is always hilarious. I think there was that one moment in I think it was Chaos Head where like because you had to like repeat a lot of the beginning of that one.
せっかくのクリスマスイブなんだから少しは気の利いたことを言ってあげたらどう
Interesting. Why did it?
Oh,
right.
そうだな。
Again, every time it gives me an option to do something. What the fuck? What was I saying? It distracted me. Damn you, Steins Gate Zero and being the game that I'm playing. How dare you stop me from rambling nonsense? Fuck, what was I saying? I swear I was saying something. I was about to say something so hilarious and cool. Right, Chaos Head. There was the part that like when you went into skip mode, it would you'd hear it a lot. And it was just one moment where like I think Takumi was walking with I think it was either Nanami or Rimi, and because of the way the skip mode would like disengage and re-engage, there was just this part where like whoever he was walking with just went like and it was really funny. And it always made me laugh. That was so worth it, wasn't it? Wasn't that point that I just made? Wasn't that story so worth it? So worth the energy. That song, it's Pavlovian. I weep. It hurts me. That's too much. Dude, this shit, this blew my mind. Upon, you know. I'm just out of words. Get to the part where I could read words. Oh my god, dude, hair down Ferris is unfair. It's unfair. It's like actually cheating. It's against the rules. Gorbachev. What's the real guy's name? It's Gorbachev, right? I don't fucking know. Boogie! The fucking faces, dude. Tickles me. It also is worth noting how, like, crazy it is, because when the first time I ever played Steins Gate Zero was, like, way before I played any of the other science adventure games. I think it was before I even played Steins Gate, which, you know, it was the first science adventure game I ever played, which is weird considering, but I watched the anime first. Anyways, it's so, like, playing it after the other ones is so crazy. It's crazy that this is the same hospital, is the point I'm getting to. It's crazy that this is AH Tokyo General Hospital. Like, the one where the fucking, you know, the shit went down. Yeah. There's no need for this, Suzaha. There's no need for this. Oh, that face! Stop! Even in fast motion, it's still... Oh! Oh. Even at fucking Mach 7, it still hurts my heart. And also heals my heart. It does all those things. Oh, that's another thing I'd like to never see again, please. If I could go ahead and never see a handful of things. Those are... What did I do last time? I think I called him last time. Let's send Orion this time. You at the lab now? Nope, at home playing H games. What's up? I want to talk to you about your secret job. Remember any info on Makiseishi? Yeah. Oh yeah! Of course, it was a lie that I remember anything. He could be in danger if I didn't get that laptop back right now. I think this is more or less the same conversation, just with more emojis. I glanced over at Maho, but she didn't say anything. What is it? I'd like to talk in person. Can we meet at the lab? I think I gave him like a Patrick Star voice when I was reading like his texts. I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. Gonna wait until evening? Play your H games later, Matt. Sorry, I lied about the H games. I'm actually busy at work. Then where are you, really? If you can't leave, then I'll go to you. I need to talk right now. This is my favorite one. I didn't want to tell you. I do a lot of dangerous jobs. Well, whatever. Fine. I'll tell you the location. Meet me here. And then we went there. The location he gave me was still in Akihabara. It was less than 5 minutes away. Oh my lord. Wasn't I think I like spent way too long looking at this picture, trying to figure out if it was like from something. Am I gonna do that? Am I about to do that again? No, I'm not doing it. Who dares? Just kidding. Checking with Luke. Do you want to come with us? Do you want to come join us, Okabe-san? Busy. Where are you? I'll meet up later. I'm gonna say I'm a bit busy. What happened? I'm about to have a bit of a long talk. With who? Daru. It's not something we can let a girl hear. I'm a guy, though. I can't let you hear it, Lukako. You're too kind. It would knock you out cold. Huh. Oh, Karine, don't do anything too weird. But you haven't done anything like that lately, so it kind of feels like old times. Oh, my earring. Sorry, ask me another time. No, sorry for bugging you. Talk to you later. Bye. Farewell. Look at the farewell. Oh. Yeah, I spent I do remember, I spent way too long looking at these, all of his stuff, trying to find a reference. Okay, so I think I don't answer him. I saved the game just in case that I fucked it up somehow. Again, you know, you never know. Never put it past me to fuck it up somehow. Maho looked troubled. I didn't want Kurisu hearing this either. I didn't know what to do. And then I remembered. A world line where I'd spent a month during wartime. I remembered that the Amadeus Kurisu was being used by the US military there. I still didn't know what that meant. I stared at my phone's screen. Should I answer it, or should I talk to Daru first?
でもびっくりしたよな。まさか真帆たんがオカリンと知り合いだったとはね。前にメイクインで鉢合わせした時はどうしようかと思ったっつうの。ま、すぐに合点がいったけどね。牧瀬クリス氏っていう共通の友人がいたわけだから。でも真帆たん、オカリンにはこの件内緒にしとくって言ってたのに、結局打ち明けたん？
見抜かれたという言い方が正解ね。
Of all the ringtones to go off during a conversation, this was definitely the best one.
ああ、なるほどね。
Daru nodded and grabbed some snacks off the table to gobble down. I put the smartphone in my pocket. For now, I needed to focus on talking to Daru.
で、僕に話って？
とぼけるな。ヒア嬢さんと一緒にいるんだ。わかるだろ。
Okay, so is this, yeah, no, I think we've diverged.
クリスが残したノート PC とハードディスクだ。出せ。
岡部さんにはパスワードの答えが分かったの？
答えなんてわからない。
どういうこと？
俺が言いたいのはただ一つだ。そのノート PC を解析しようなんて真似は今すぐやめろ。その PC の中には世界を混沌へ導くほどのとんでもないものが眠ってるかもしれないんだ。
Meanwhile, Daru is like, oh good, he's back.
おい、聞いてるのか？
But he's being serious.
12秒つ。
あなたってそういう人だったのね。
違う。
Maho,
こっち
you
は
have
大
no
真面目なんだ。
idea.
法院虚魔とかそういうんじゃなくて。
12秒おつ。
12秒じゃないんだって。
I slammed my hand down on the table. The shock was enough to cause one of the empty cans on the table to fall onto the floor.
いいか、聞いてくれ。
It is so
こ
hard
れ
to
は
take.
鈴葉とも関連している話だ。
It's so hard to take this shit seriously with this in the fucking background. My eyes just keep glancing over. Oh, right. This is Daru's realm.
鈴葉？
お前だって知ってるだろう。鈴葉の使命のことは。
詳しく。
中鉢論文だ。
That was enough for Daru to understand.
マジで？
最初からマジだ。
そっか。ま、大体そんなところじゃないかって予想はしてたけど。
Daru didn't say another word. He opened a locked, fire-resistant case that was sitting on one of the racks. There was a laptop and a hard drive hidden within.
それが
The laptop was a deep red Japanese model with a 12-inch LCD screen. The hard drive was American, from a brand known for equipping its drives with a shock-resistant rubber case. I'm just gonna double check. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm gonna clean my glasses real quick. The laptop and hard drive that Kurisu left behind.
確認だが、結局セキュリティは破れなかったんだよな。
まあ僕たちの作ったソフトの前にはどんなハッカーもお手上げっつうことで。
もうこれ以上解析はするな。
一応依頼料をもらってるわけだが。
He looked apologetically toward Maho. She was glaring at me.
さっきも聞いたけど、あなたたちはクリスの事件について一体何を隠しているの？
真実を知ろうとすることが必ずしも正しいとは限らない。
それはあなたの考えよ。判断すべき情報も提示してくれないなんて。
危険なんだよ。君だってこの間襲われたんだ。それは分かってるはずだろ。
私はナイトの後ろに隠れているだけの臆病者になりたくないわ。科学者として真実にたどり着く努力をやめたくないのよ。
I fucking love
たとえそこ
Maho.
にどんな危険が潜んでいるとしてもね。
分からずやだな。
もし私がクリスだったとしても多分そういうんじゃないかしら。違う？
I was startled. Maho was right. I remembered having the same conversation with Kurisu. It was when we were looking into CERN, I think. Me and, This is the episode I just watched. I finally got my mom to start watching Steins Gate. I think this episode is the one we just finished.
これはもうちゃんと話すしかないって。
誰？
何をどう言っても納得しないって顔してるよ、マホタンは。
She's a part of this now. Like, there's no escaping it, my guy.
ええ、納得しないわ。
それに中途半端に関わってる方がかえって危ないんじゃね？オカリンの言うことがマジならだけどさ。
Daru had a point. At this rate, Maho could very well get herself into deep trouble without realizing what she'd done. Just the fact that she was carrying Kurisu's belongings made her a part of the World War III, but she had no idea. That computer wasn't just something to remember an old friend by anymore. It was at the center of an international power struggle. Russian-speaking arsonists had forced their way into Kurisu's home in America. Afterward, mysterious men claiming to be the FBI had searched Dr. Leskinen's lab. This whole thing was on the verge of exploding. And people like me were nothing in the face of a war between nations.
鈴葉に関連することも話すことになるぞ。ダル、お前はそれでいいのか？
しょうがないっしょ。
I turned back toward Maho.
ヒヤジョーさん、一つだけ約束してくれないか？君は科学者だ。しかも極めて理性的な人だと俺は信じている。感情に任せて迂闊なことはしないでくれ。軽率なことはしないでくれ。
Don't be like I once was.
これから話すことは突拍子もないことだ。馬鹿げていると思うかもしれない。けど事実なんだ。だから
回りくどい言い方はやめて。一体私に何を誓わせたいの？
Trust me, Maho, the preamble is necessary.
マキセ・クリスを救おうなんて絶対に考えるな。
Her mouth hung open, like she didn't believe what she just heard.
クリスを救う？
それが約束できないのなら話すつもりはない。どうする？
救える可能性があるということ？
そう思えるかもしれないが、実際には可能性はゼロだということだ。
さっきも言ったでしょ。判断すべき情報も与えられていないのだから安易に回答は出せない。教えて、すべてを。
I took a deep breath and began to tell her the story. I told her about the time machine, about Suzuha, and about World War III, and about the relationship between Kurisu and Dr. Nakabachi, and that what was supposedly Dr. Nakabachi's theory was actually based off of Kurisu's writings. I told her that the original copy of Kurisu's work might be hidden on her laptop or hard drive, and I told her that Russia and America might be fighting over it. As for how Kurisu died, I decided to skip that. Maho was silent the whole time I spoke, with a confused expression on her face. She looked like a girl who'd just graduated to middle school and who was staring at a string of equations on a blackboard that were like nothing she'd ever seen before. Her expression didn't change even when I finished.
それ、本当の話なの？作り話ではなく。
Maho was asking Daru, not me.
まあね。
やっぱり信じられないか？
別にそういうわけじゃないわ。ただ私の予想とあまりにもかけ離れていたものだから思考が追いつかないの。
君の予想というのは？
アマデウスの軍事転用のことじゃないかと考えていたのよ。
軍事転用？
クリスは精神生理学研究所にもよく出入りしていたんだけど、時々場違いな連中がそこにやってくるって言ってたの。どうも国防総省の人じゃないかって。
Russia, the FBI, and now the United States Department of Defense? This was getting even more suspicious.
アマデウスで人を殺せるのか？どうやって？
例えば百戦錬磨のパイロットから記憶データをコピーして無人戦闘機の制御に使うとか。あと以前話した医療への応用覚えてる？
人間の脳へ記憶データを書き戻すってやつかな。
そう。記憶データを修正した上で書き戻しが可能になれば恐怖を感じない兵士やどんな非道な任務でも平然と遂行する部隊なんていう恐ろしいものまで作れてしまう。
うわ、まるでハリウッド映画じゃん。
It really is horrifying. Did this mean reality had caught up to books and movies?
私はてっきりクリスがそういった実験の証拠を偶然知ってしまったんじゃないかと思っていたの。
だからクリスは狙われたと。
ええ。
Maho picked up the laptop. Its red body was evidently made out of some kind of magnesium alloy, and it was a lot lighter than it looked.
でもまさかタイムマシンとはね。
いずれにしてもそれはすぐに破壊した方がいい。
中身を確認もせず、あなたが言う論文が入っているとは限らないわよ。
中身はもう関係ないんだよ。クリスが残した遺産がこの世に存在している。それだけで戦争の火種になりうるんだ。
All that matters is what they think is on it. He still didn't seem satisfied.
でもこれはクリスが生きていたという証、クリスが残した意志なのよ。それをあっさり葬り去るなんて。
その中身を知ることで今度は君が狙われるかもしれない。
そうだけど。
This wasn't working. Maybe I needed to try another approach.
その PC のパスワード、クリスには当然聞いてみたんだろう。アマデウスだよ。
もちろん最初に試してみたわ。
でもダメだったんだな。
Maho nodded.
おかしいよな。普通は知っているはずだろう。でもアマデウスのクリスは知らなかった。それなら考えられる可能性は一つだ。クリス本人がアマデウスの知らないうちにパスワードを変更した。なぜ損したと思う？中身を知られたくなかったからじゃないのか。死者の墓を暴くような真似はやめような。
暴くなんてそんな言い方。ごめんなさい。
Oh, sad. I hate
確かに
sad Maho.
岡部さんの言う通りかもしれないわ。私クリスにこだわりすぎているのかもしれない。
君がクリスのことをとても大切に思っていることはよくわかるよ。だがこればかりは手を出さない方がいい。パンドラの箱どころか地獄の釜の蓋になりかねない。
中二病つ
Daru, this is not the time, my guy.
いちいち茶化すな。
Maho hugged the laptop tight to her chest and sighed.
了解したわ、岡部さん。今起こっている事態そのものは理解した。まだ頭の整理はついてないけどね。このノート PC は破棄しましょう。
ありがとう。
I was so glad she understood.
やっぱり大した人だ君は。
何が？
普通こんな話は花から否定するか否定しないまでも全て疑ってかかるかどっちかだろ。
買いかぶりすぎよ。いつもの私だったら否定どころか聞く耳すら持っていないわ。科学者っていうのはね、本来どんな些細な可能性であっても否定すべきではないんだけれど、得てして自分の主義主張や常識に固執する傾向にあるから。
じゃあ今回はなぜ？
そこにマキセ・クリスが関わっているからよ。
Maho's smile was bitter.
タイムトラベル理論？タイムリープマシン？冗談じゃないわ。そんなもの存在してたまるものですか。でもね、クリスならやりかねない。いつだって私の常識を破壊し尽くしてきたのはあの子なんだから。
そうか。
That's right. Her Amadeus login ID was Salieri. I almost said that, but stopped myself. It seemed to me like that ID held some kind of gloomy meaning to her as a scientist.
で依頼料はどうするん？実はマホタンにもらった分さ、今月末発売のエロゲー予約で使っちゃったんだよね。
Daru, your priorities are immaculate.
お前
Out of this
最
world.
低だな。
そのための裏バイトなんだっつうの。
いいわ、お金を返してだなんて言いません。もともとダメ元で頼んだのだし。
Damn.
言っとくけど、あと3日あればパスワード突き止めて解析完了してたから、これはガチ。
そういうことにしておくわ。
Definitely. Maho smiled and turned back to me.
ちなみに一応証拠は見せてほしいんだけれど。
証拠？
どこかに置いてあるんでしょ、そのタイムマシン。それと鈴葉さんに一度話を聞きたいわ。
それはどうだろうな。
Daru had agreed to it, but still, I told Maho about the time machine without asking Suzuha. We'd just gotten into a fight, and I really didn't want to bring this up with her. But even showing Maho the time machine would mean I'd need to get Suzuha's permission, and that made it difficult.
ダル。鈴葉に話を通すのはお前から。
I was fully expecting a Daga Kotowaru. Before I could finish my sentence, the intercom on the desk beeped.
もう大事な話してんのになんだお。
His tone was the same as ever, but I didn't miss the sudden flash of tension across Daru's face. I've got a bad feeling about this.
もしもし、なんかあったん？
Daru flipped through several channels on the security monitor as he continued to talk on the phone. All 6 monitors had been displaying the interior of the store, but now they showed the entrance to the building, the emergency exit, the corridors, the elevator hall, and the emergency stairs. So he had cameras not just inside the building, but outside it too? This was no time to be impressed. Images were covered in white, snowy static, but I could see strange figures on the screens.
なんだこいつら。
The entrance to the building, first floor elevator hall, 7th floor elevator hall, the 7th floor emergency stairs, and in front of the cosplay shop. There'd been nothing there a moment ago, but now there were 4 men standing in each of those 5 places. They were silent and did not speak to one another. There were around 20 of them in all. I mean 5 times 20. 5 times 20. 5 times 4 is 20. I graduated elementary school math. Some were wearing suits, others typical Akihabara fashions, yet others were wearing military camo. Individually, none of them would really stand out in Akihabara, but the fact that so many people had all come to this lonely building at once seemed terrifying.
Okie dokie. ここは放置するわ。君も適当に逃げるといいよ。ほんじゃ。
Evidently, he'd been talking to the man at the front counter. He put down the intercom and looked at us.
つうわけで逃げるべ。
Let's skedaddle. Daru pulled out a backpack and began tossing hard drives, memory cards, and other pieces of equipment into it.
そのノート PC も please。
Maho stood there blinking as she handed him Kurisu's laptop and hard drive.
おい、あいつらは誰だ？
やっぱりクリスの PC が狙われているの？
さあ、どうかな。僕もいろいろやらかしてるからさ。こういうこと今までにもあったし。
Fucking Daru, the troublemaker. Ever the understatement.
ま、だからこそ裏のバイトなわけで。
おいおい。
Daru took the laptop and hard drive from Maho, threw them into the backpack, and then slid it onto his back.
そもそも逃げるってどうやって？店の入り口には連中がいるんだぞ。
いや、この場所気に入ってたのにな。ついに放棄か。
My back is getting stiff. Ugh. Despite his tone, his expression was still serious. He walked to the corner of the room. There was a life-size poster of a golden-haired Vocalo stuck to the wall.
リンタン、ちょっとごめんよ。
Daru carefully took the poster off the wall, making sure not to damage it. was a glass door hidden behind it, which led out to a concrete veranda.
こっちだお
Wait, that was how he was going to escape? This was the 7th floor, right? There wasn't time to worry about it. Daru went up to the veranda without bothering to wait for us. I pushed Maho forward and urged her to go ahead of me. The veranda was filled with junk, just like the inside. The floor was covered with old PCs and monitors, as well as old arcade games that were clearly broken. There was barely any place to stand. But that meant that as long as you ducked down a little, there was probably no way you could be seen from outside. Maybe he'd set this up deliberately so he could use it in case of an emergency. From there, we escaped like we were in a spy movie. We removed the board to open the way between this veranda and the next one, moved down to the room at the edge of the building, then used the emergency ladder to get to the 2nd floor. It was an empty space that Daru rented with some of his acquaintances, and we were able to use the bathroom to escape to an unused room in the next building. My blood ran cold when Daru got a call that the men in front of the cosplay shop had broken in. From there, we planned to escape from the next building's emergency exit. The emergency exit there led out to a different alleyway than the one we'd originally come in, so in theory, they shouldn't have been able to find us. But we were naive. The narrow alleyway between the buildings was dark and deserted. They were waiting for us there, as if they'd known exactly where we were going. We were caught off guard, and before we could run, one of them grabbed Maho. And then there was no way for us to resist. They grabbed Daru and me, twisted our arms behind our backs, and slammed us to the ground. But it wasn't the group who'd attacked us in the building. They were all wearing full-face masks, motorcycle suits, and leather jackets. One of them, the girl holding down Maho, was clearly a woman. There was only one woman I knew who'd attack us while dressed like that. I was right. I knew that voice. I could tell even with her helmet hiding her face. No need for that. There is no need for that. She held Maho up with her left arm, then took out a military knife with her right. She put the knife up to Maho's throat. Stop that. The horrible memories came flooding back to me. Don't show it. Do not display that to me. Whether it happened in a different world line or not, the merciless voice that had taken my Yuri from me was right here. Don't show it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I gritted my teeth so hard it hurt, and glared at the woman in the motorcycle suit. I forced myself to speak, and the woman in the motorcycle suit took the knife away from Maho's neck. She handed her over to one of the other men, and then she took off her helmet. I'm glad they didn't show it. I feel like I did that. I feel like I willed that out of existence. Kiryu Moeka. So it was you after all. Her eyes were completely devoid of emotion, just like they were on August 13th. I was forced off the ground by one of the others, but my arm was still twisted upward. I tried as hard as I could not to scream from the pain. I Moeka slightly nodded to the other men. The hand that was holding me drew back. I could finally move again. Daru was released too, and he stood up, mumbling something. The Maho was still in their hands. Daru was about to take off his backpack.
ヒアジョさん、おとなしくしててくれ。そいつは本当に君を殺す。でも自分の論文のために君が死んで、それでクリスが喜ぶのか。
Mao looked like a small child on the verge of tears. Still glaring at Moeka, I took the laptop and hard drive out of the backpack.
これだ。
リュックごと渡して。
先にヒアジョさんを解放しろ。
She didn't respond. Fine then. I'd have to bluff.
複合化するパスワードを知りたければ、俺たちを出し抜こうとするな。
I put the two items back in the backpack and handed it over to her. It was all I could do to keep my voice from quaking.
こいつはパスワードがなければ絶対に起動することができない。世界中のハッカーがサジを投げた代物だ。俺たちの安全が保証されたら教える。こいつを渡した途端に殺されたんじゃたまらないからな。
Of course, I had no clue what the password was. If they found that out, we were doomed. Daru was giving me a questioning glance. I ignored it. Keep your damn mouth shut, Daru.
確かに。そうね。
Alright, she fell for it. That meant...
それじゃあ、誰か一人、私たちと来てもらう。
well, shit.
二人は今すぐに解放する。その後、パスワードが正しければ、残り一人も解放する。
Damn, that's not good enough.
それはダメだ。残る一人の命の保証がない。
なら、三人とも来てもらうだけ。
This woman. I could feel cold sweat on my back. I'd never been involved in a life or death deal before, and I had no idea what to do next.
明日至る。こっちへ。
え、僕？
あなたはスペシャリストだと聞いている。リュックを持ってこっちへ。
いや、
She talks and it gives me the the chills when she speaks.
あなたが来るなら他の二人はここへ置いていってもいい。
待て。だったら俺が行く。それでいいだろう。
あなたのことは上から何も聞かされていない。パスワードを知っているかどうかもわからない。
Damn, she saw through me. Moeka put the knife back to Maho's neck. Stop that!
明日至る。早く来て。
そういうセリフはもっとエロいシチュの時にお願いしたいわけだが。
Daru! He played. He really just can't. Daru was joking, but his whole body was shaking. What do I do? They were going to kill Daru. I thought as fast as I thought as fast and as hard as I could, but nothing came to me. In this world line, Daru was going to live until 2036 and complete the time machine. That much was clear from Suzaha's testimony. If the world lines were going to converge, even if Moeka took Daru here, he wouldn't be killed, right? No, but that didn't mean I could leave him here. One of the men with Moeka was looking at his watch. She noticed it too. He might have felt they were taking too much time with a kidnapping done in broad daylight. I hoped that somebody might wander by, but there was no counting on that stroke of luck. I needed to solve this myself instead of relying on others.
誰か殺してみせればいい？
Jesus Christ, Moega! What the fuck is wrong with you? I felt a cold knife pressed hard against my carotid artery.
おかりん！
Daru and Maho were screaming, but suddenly it all seemed unreal, like it was taking place in a distant world. They say that's what happens whenever someone is confronted with their own death, and it was happening to me now. I can't die either way, right? I tried asking myself that. I tried asking Suzuha, even though she wasn't here. I tried asking the world. Of course, nobody answered. The fact that I might not die didn't mean I could do something stupid here. A normal college kid like me would be too scared to move once they had a knife to their neck. I'd seen people die many times, and I'd almost been killed, but I never did get used to it. Thoughts of Kurisu's blood came back into my mind, and I almost suffered a flashback. My body shook, and it was all I could do to keep from collapsing to the ground. Is there nothing else I could do? Just when I was about to give up, a black van pulled up and braked hard once at one end of the alley, blocking us in. The sliding door opened, and out poured men carrying assault rifles. Jesus Christ! They were all wearing gray military uniforms and face masks. Their eyes were the eyes of trained soldiers. From their huge frames and the color of their skin, it was clear they weren't Japanese. I immediately realized that this was all real. It wasn't cosplay or anything like that. Those guns were real, and a battle was about to begin. My experience with the August 13th attack, and the war zone I'd lived in until only a few days ago, came back to me. Jesus Christ. It didn't matter who was friend or foe. Moeka moved the instant I spoke. She saw the attackers and jumped into the shadow of a nearby building. The other rounders spread out too. They let go of Maho, who was standing up, confused, in the middle of the alley.
Maho, sit up!
The man who was holding me was the only one who reacted a bit too slowly. Jesus Christ. There was a sharp noise, and a bullet went through the helmet of the rounder who was holding a knife to my throat. As he went down, I went down with him, and I hit the ground hard. The impact made me let go of Daru's backpack. One of the other rounders grabbed it off the ground and ran in the opposite direction of the van. A man got out of the van, evidently the commander, and barked orders in what sounded like Russian. One of the soldiers turned their gun on the fleeing rounder. Jesus Christ! The rounder's body flew up off the ground as both he and the backpack were torn open. The contents of the backpack fell to the ground, scattering across the asphalt. The laptop and hard drive were hit with more gunfire than possibly could have been necessary. Kurisu's laptop and hard disk were turned into unrecognizable scrap. Whoa! Hey, thanks for following, First Lady. Appreciate it. Welcome to... Oh, that startled me. That always startles me. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate that. Kurisu's laptop and hard disk were turned to unrecognizable scrap in just a few seconds. I crawled behind a light pole without even bothering to look. It really all happened in an instant. I looked around, and the Russian soldiers were running toward us. Moeka and her rounders had vanished at some point, leaving only the two bodies. The soldiers silently recovered the remains of the laptop and hard disk, picked up the bodies of the two rounders, and got right back in their van. They didn't even pause to look at us. There were only a couple of minutes between the time they'd arrived and when they left. All that were left were little fragments lying on the ground. The blood from the two bodies. Maho, who was lying on the ground and shaking. Daru, who was standing in shock behind one of the buildings. And me, lying on the ground. My heart had been pounding the whole time. I only felt the pain in my neck after it was all over. Evidently, the knife had cut me a little when I'd fallen. A while later, we finally heard the sirens of a police car. Took you fucking long enough. And it was only then that I remembered I was in Akihabara, Japan. World War III may have started long ago, and we just didn't know it. I realized that in the face of a war between nations, we were truly powerless. Good lord. Akihabara was in an uproar. There were lots of helicopters in the sky that probably belonged to the media. We escaped to the lab, making sure that no one was following us. It hadn't been that long since we were attacked at the hotel. If the cops found us at the scene of another crime like that, they'd be suspicious for sure. So we ran before the police arrived. Suzuha wasn't at the lab. Maybe she'd sensed what was going on outside and went to check on the time machine. We held our breath and waited. It felt like if we let anyone know we were here, more scary people would burst down the door and charge in.
橋田さん、ここタオルって置いてある。
洗面所にあるを。
Maho nodded and brought a new towel from the washroom. She handed it to me.
岡部さん、首血が出てる。これで押さえて。
ありがとう。
My neck was wet with blood. Fortunately, it wasn't a deep wound, so it wasn't long before it stopped. After handing me the towel, Maho sat down right on the floor and didn't move. I knew how she felt, especially since this was the second time she'd been attacked. And this time, people had died right in front of her.
大丈夫か、ヒヤジョさん。
ええ。
She nodded hesitantly, but her face was deathly pale. And I realized that she'd been clutching her left hand into a fist the whole time, and there was blood coming out of it.
怪我したのか、見せて。
Evidently, she hadn't noticed she'd been hurt. She was looking at her left hand, confused.
あら。
どうした？
指開かない。変ね。
Maho had been holding some small fragment in her left hand. Her hand had frozen around it and wouldn't move. Soon it started to shake. I grabbed her hand and forced open her fingers one by one. Whatever it was, she'd been clutching it so tightly that she'd cut off the blood flow to her fingers. They were very cold. When I finally forced her hand open, the thing she was holding fell to the floor. What was it? I picked it up.
Oh.
It was a red piece of magnesium alloy. It was a piece of Kurisu's laptop. She must have grabbed it off the ground when she was running away. She held something so sharp tightly for so long, of course she was going to bleed. I returned it to Maho without a word. She took the broken fragment and cradled it in her hands, then stared at it with an empty expression. Suddenly... Oh, that got me. Suddenly, a single line of tears dripped down her cheek. After that, it didn't stop. She continued to sob. I hate sad Maho! Stop!
ごめんね。守ってあげられなくて。ごめんね。
It was as if that tiny fragment was Kurisu herself. She held it to her chest and kept crying.
ヒヤジョさん、きっとクリスは安心したと思う。君が無事でよかったって。だから君が謝ることなんてない。 謝らなくてもいいんだ。
She didn't respond. I thought that... I didn't realize that was in the game. That scared the shit out of me. Man, I'm just on edge apparently. Fuck. Instead, a phone began to vibrate.
私
Maho took out her cell phone and looked at the message she received.
レスキネン教授からだわ。
Oh, good.
どうした？
荒らされたって。オフィスと、あと、ホテルの部屋。教授と私の、ひどいことになってるって。
そうか。
Whether it was the Rounders, the Russians, or whoever had first surrounded the cosplay shop, they must have been after Kurisu's laptop and hard drive.
あの PC バックアップは存在しないんだよな。
ええ。
それならこれでよかったんだ。クリスの残したものが何十億もの人を殺す道具として使われることはなくなったんだから。
In the end, I got what I wished for. The data was destroyed before anyone got their hands on it. There was so little left that I was sure there would be no way to restore it.
つうかさ、ロシアはなんであの PC を壊しちゃったんだろう。手に入れようとしてたんじゃなかったん？
今のところタイムマシン開発競争じゃん。ロシアがリードしてるんだ。ロシアからすればノート PC を手に入れられればそれでよし。だが他の連中に奪われるぐらいなら壊してしまった方がマシって考えてたんじゃないか。
They probably wanted to avoid a protracted gunfight with the Rounders in broad daylight in Japan. The cold way they made their decisions made me shiver. They really were professional soldiers. An amateur couldn't do that.
で、これからどうする？
できればここにはいたくない。
Russia might not know about this place, but Moeka might. If the Rounders were on the move, then Tenoji downstairs might be involved too.
日が暮れたら移動しよ
I mean, considering Moeka is, then Tenoji almost certainly is. It would have been great if Suzuha had come back, but I couldn't get in touch with her. Oh, sad Maho. Stop with the sad Maho. Maho was sinking into a warm bathtub. She could finally feel blood flowing through her body again. The heat melted the tension away from her muscles. Her injured hand hurt a little, but it wasn't unbearable. She felt like she'd come back to life. Once the sun had set, Maho and Rintaro had gone to Ferris, the cat-eared maid at Meiqueen Nyanyan, for help. Ferris's home was at the top of a high-rise condo building on prime Akihabara real estate. From a security perspective, it was superior to the Future Gadget Laboratory in every way imaginable. Ferris welcomed the two of them, offering them food and a place to sleep. Ferris is kind of the best. she is like the ultimate support system. And now she'd even offered them a bath. Maho was a little worried about Hashira Itaru. He'd insisted on staying to wait for his younger sister Suzuha, and remained alone at the Future Gadget Lab. More than an hour had passed since then. Had Rintaro heard anything? And even if they moved, that didn't mean this place was safe. The group from this afternoon could attack at any time. She couldn't help but feel nervous. That made her feel terrified and vulnerable as she sat naked in the bath. She got out of the bathtub and hurried to the changing room to wipe herself down. She tried to put on the change of underwear that Ferris had given her. Is this necessary? Come on, no, stop. And her hands started to shake. Then her knees buckled and she fell to the ground.
極度の緊張と
I'm like ever so
そこか
slightly
らの急
uncomfortable.
激な緩和で一時的にひどい筋弛緩が起こってる。
She tried to stay calm by analyzing herself, but that didn't mean she could do anything but lie down.
これはまずいわ。
Alarm bells were going off in her head. She'd just about given up, knowing that it would pass with time, when Ferris popped her head in.
マホニャお湯加減は
Ferris. I love how she's got all the, like, fluffy coat things, even indoors. Like, she's home right now. She's at home, and she's, like, fully kittened out. Ferris screamed and started to panic when she saw Maho naked and lying on the floor. Ferris, no, stop!
いや、別に大丈夫だから。
Maho's voice was so weak that Ferris didn't even hear her.
とにかくベッドに連れてかなくちゃ。
Ferris tried to pick up the naked Maho, and then slipped and dropped her. God damn it, Ferris! Maho hit the back of her head on the floor. She saw little stars dancing across her field of vision. Ferris! Why did you make it so much worse?
ごめんなさい。
Sprawling naked on the floor, face up, Maho tried to force herself to stand, but her arms were too weak.
聞いて、これはすぐに治るから。
But Ferris wasn't listening. For some reason, she decided to reach around Maho from behind and try to drag her up. And then Rintaro must have heard Ferris's scream because he ran in. Oh good.
どうしたんだフェイリス
God damn it.
あ
Yeah? She wanted to scream, but all that came out was a tiny whimper. Maho! Everybody's just making it worse.
本当に悪かった。この通りだ。
Rintaro lowered his head deeply toward Maho as she lay on the bed.
謝らなくてもいいわ。さっきのはあくまでも事故なんだから。
I appreciate the, like, the there's a word in she's being reasonable is what I'm trying to say. Like this is one of those one of them tropes. They're not doing it, which I appreciate. Just like being realistic about it as opposed to, you know. Then again, that being said, the fucking size. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. This is not funny. This is not funny. She still couldn't bear to look him in the face. Just remembering the despair and embarrassment she'd felt when he saw her naked body made her want to bury her head in a pillow and flail her legs back and forth. To make matters worse, she still hadn't been able to stand up after all that, and Rintaro had been forced to carry her to the bed. She'd never been touched by a boy before, so it was only today that she realized how rugged male arms were. Oh boy. Being carried was extremely uncomfortable, to the point where she'd squirmed around and almost slipped out of his arms. She'd had no choice but to curl herself into a ball and let Rintaro do whatever he wanted with her. I hate this phrasing. Oh, also, hi! How behind am I? It's been about an hour and a half. At least for this stream. You picked the best time to pop in. And now she couldn't even bear to look at his face. I mean, that's fair, I guess.
リスが慌てたのがいけなかったんだにゃ。
Ferris was sitting next to Rintaro, feet under her knees, with her shoulders slumped. That's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably. The last stream, the microphone was, my mic was awful. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but the audio was terrible. I guess not terrible, but like it was not good. It was subpar quality. Coping for a minute, blame college. I mean, it's probably college's fault. You know, that's perfectly understandable. It's easy to blame college.
いいのよ。むしろ驚かせてしまってごめんなさい。
体は平気なのか？病院に行かなくても。
I love how reasonable she is. I do. She's so respectable and just like level-headed, even in a situation like this, which fucking sucks for her.
強い緊張が続いていたから、その反動が来ただけ。もう少し休めば回復すると思う。心配かけてしまったわね。みっともないわ。
みっともないもんか。今日みたいなことに巻き込まれれば誰だって怖い。具合だって悪くもなる。
I did not see you get rid of a message. I believe you though. I totally, definitely nothing to it, I'm sure. Super duper for sure for realsies.
あなたでも怖い？
ああ。
そう。
今夜はもう休むといいにゃ。事件のこととか、これからどうするかとか、難しい話は元気になってから考えるといいにゃ。
Totally.
そうね。ええ、そうするわ。
What are you talking about? You're the best, liar. You're so good. I didn't even know. I still don't know. What are you talking about? That's crazy. Aho closed her eyes. The lights went out and Rintaro and Ferris left the room. Steins gay. Hope things are going well, at least. Hope the aforementioned college, despite the fact that they're totally responsible for the, you know, the behindness. Hope things are going well. She lay on the bed and tried not to think about anything. She could hear the pounding of her heart. It would get louder and then softer. The rhythm was very strange. She could hear a kind of static noise mixed in with her heartbeat, like a broken TV. Was it exhaustion-induced tinnitus? Whatever it was, once she noticed it, she couldn't sleep. Ever had someone call you a concern before? Like... I'm not sure. I'm trying to think, in what scenario would you call someone a concern? I'm not even entirely sure what that means. Like you're a problem? Like you are a concern? I don't think I've ever heard that phrase. Like, I see. I'm not sure. Probably. I was certainly a problem child back at school, but I'm gonna go ahead and take it that happened. That sucks. I don't have a whole lot of memories of school. I mean, I have them, but I try not to think about them. A plethora of other things. Ah, damn. It's fine. I hope they continue to be fine. Shut up. Steins Gate makes everything better.
そういえば、岡部さんが精神安定剤を服用しているって言ってたわね。
She wasn't supposed to do this, but if she looked at their ingredients, she could tell what medications had what effects. Should she take a look and have him lend her some? If that wasn't possible, she could at least get some over-the-counter antihistamines to use as a sleep aid. On fire. My brain is always on fire. It's I just get used to it. You just get used to it after a while. She turned over.
大声を出さないで、言うことを聞いて。さもないと、命はない。
Suddenly, she heard a voice break through the unpleasant noise. She gulped and leapt out of bed. Terror-stricken, Maho tried to crawl to the door, but her legs wouldn't move like she wanted to. She couldn't stand up. Moeka? The voice in her ears followed her wherever she went. Yeah, that was Moeka. It was like a wild animal toying with its prey. All the hairs on her body were standing up on end. Yeah, there was you like popped in right after some crazy shit happened. Moeka and the other rounders. Yeah, I think it's. I'm gonna be honest, not to accuse the fine creators of this glorious visual novel of reusing assets, but I do think it may or may not be the same portrait. Yeah, no, the rounders, they were after the computer, and so they had Maho at knife point, specifically Moeka had Maho at knife point, and then the Russians showed up and shot the computer to death. And now we're here, and she's quite a bit traumatized. Her jaw was chattering so hard she bit her tongue. Good time to join. That's fair. It was right after the branch where I made a different choice than I think it's the same branch as the first ending I got, if I remember correctly. He desperately crawled across the carpet and toward the door.
一人殺してみせれば
Oh, stop!
いい。やめて、やだ、やだ。
Yeah, the Okabe gives up ending. The everything's fucked ending. The world is plunged into absolute madness and death ending.
Hiyajo-san! Oi!
She woke up to find herself being violently shaken by the shoulders. She looked around the room, panting. She was in bed, and Rintaro was looking down at her. Everything's fine. Dude, he was literally that dog with the meme in that ending, where it's just, everything's on fire, and he's like, this is fine. This is fine. But it was made up for by the last one. That was the best. I really wish the audio wasn't so terrible in that last stream, because that really was just so... That was so satisfying. Unfortunately, my mic was ass. Her whole body was sweaty and she felt sick. There was a burning sensation deep in her stomach.
どうした?
誰かがここに
Oh wait, this is my rare opportunity to... Boop! He's usually not on the other side, so I get to boop. Rintaro looked around. Paris came a moment later, as well as the older man who was her butler, but they were simply standing at the entrance of the room, concerned.
きっと悪い夢を見たんだ。
Consolation. Today's fine. Boop. The antique clock on the shelf said that at some point it had gotten past 1 a.m. She must have slept for hours without realizing it.
そうね。
Glad to help. That's gonna be,
だったみたい。
I feel like that's gonna be if I ever get to the point where I can make, like, chat emotes, that's gonna be one of them, is just like a finger at the camera, just boop. And it's gonna say boop. She took a painful breath and wiped the sweat off her forehead without realizing that she sounded just like a little child. Yes, baby. She sent Ferris and the butler back to their rooms. Rintaro brought her a towel from the washroom.
ひどい汗だ。拭いた方がいい。
She did as he said and wiped the beads of sweat off her face, chest, and limbs. As she was deciding whether or not to wipe the inside of her pajamas, Rintaro took the hint and turned around.
俺も自分の部屋に
He is
戻
the
るから
goat, it's true.
何かあったらいつでも声をかけてくれ。ん？
橋田さんは？
あ、さっき連絡が来たよ。鈴葉とも合流したって。
そう。
それじゃあ。
Rintaro was about to leave her bedside. But Maho, and she couldn't believe she was doing this, reached out and grabbed the hem of his shirt without thinking. It was Moeka. Shocker. It was Moeka. These moments are so, I love these moments in these games where, like, these characters who have, like, just, because they all have these facades, right? Maho has her, they all have this version of themselves that they display to everybody else, including their friends. But these moments where, like, they just let themselves be vulnerable they're so, like, touching. Just not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Nope, not touching it. But yeah, I love these moments where just the characters let themselves be vulnerable and, like, and everyone else is just supportive. I love these characters. I love them all.
お願い。少しだけでいいから、ここにいて。
ヒヤちゃんさん。
一人にしないで。
Maho! Maho was surprised by the words she was saying, but the thought of spending this terrible night all by herself was too much for her. Rintaro must have understood how she felt, because he nodded without smiling.
わかった。眠るまで一緒にいるよ。
That is so fucking weird. Like, and I'm literally not making this up. Me and my mom are also watching Steins Gate, and we just finished episode 5. I'm not shitting you. I'm actually not shitting you. We just finished episode 5. That's fucking weird. Here's young curious at some point. That's odd. It's fucking crazy, right?
ありがとう。わがまま言ってごめんなさい。
いや、いいんだ。どうせ俺もなかなか寝つけなかったし。
Dude, look at that grin. Fucking that toothy ass smile. Yeah, we pretty much settled on, like, 1 episode a day. She doesn't have a lot of energy sometimes, so 1 episode a day is and I'm fine with that. The fact that she's watching it all makes me very extraordinarily happy.
後ろ向いてるから汗だけはちゃんと拭くといい。
ええ。
While Rintaro stared back at the door, she took off her pajamas and wiped off the thick layer of sweat that covered her whole body. She tried to put her pajamas on again, but they were too drenched for her to want to wear them. She had no choice but to dive back under the covers in nothing but her underwear, and bring the comforter way above her chest.
もういいわ。
Gotcha. Amidst the dim glow of the nightlight, Rintaro brought a chair to the side of the bed and sat down.
ここで見張ってるから何も怖がらなくていい。これなら安心だろ。
He's such a fucking... He is the GOAT, my man. He's such a kind soul past, you know... Ah.
不安か？
うん。大丈夫。
Laughed. I'm still trying to in our watch through, she keeps getting understandably, she keeps getting a little off put by Daru being Daru, and I'm like, I get it, but also like, you know, just don't let it ruin it for you, please. He's the best, I promise, kind of, sometimes. Daru. Good old Daru being Daru. She did laugh when when the phone wave does with the thing fills the room with smoke, and Daru runs to the thing and he yells, "Suck it, AC!" She did laugh at that part, and that was pretty funny. I very much enjoyed that. Okay, Maho's face felt hot from some feeling that she didn't understand. She sank deeper under the blanket and turned away from Rintaro. She softly closed her eyes. She could feel his presence behind her. The two of them stopped talking, and the only noise was the distant sound of night coming from beyond the curtain. How long did they spend like that? Just as she was about to fall into a light sleep, she heard a soft voice in her ears.
ヒヤジョーさん、まだ起きてるか？
That's fair.
ええ。
Very dark experience. Right. She was very, she was like, why is this poor strange girl following these fucking weirdos? And I was just like, just watch the show, please. Like, I get it, you know? She's like, why is she? Right. Same. I don't know. Like, they're not even that far apart. I think it's literally just like a matter of, it's like less than 2 years. But, yeah. She felt herself waking up again. Same. Exactly. I feel like I'm having the exact same experiences. She opened her eyes and turned back toward Rintaro, only to see him staring toward the window. It was as if he was trying to see some sight that lay beyond it. His profile is so handsome. For some reason, that was the thought that came to her.
どうかしたの?
I mean, is she wrong, though? Rintaro seemed unwilling to talk, so Maho decided to speak first. He swallowed loudly.
本当はずっと言おうと思ってたけど勇気がなかった。すまない。
何のこと？
俺は一つだけ君に重大なことを隠している。
Maho leaned forward, not caring that he might see her chest.
さっき 話したよな。別の世界線のことや、そこで出会ったクリスのこと、タイムマシンやタイムリープのこと、
ええ。
クリスとその父親のことも、
ええ。
あの時、本当はもう一つ言わなきゃいけないことがあったんだ。でも、どうしても言い出せなかった。
Dude, the pain and hesitation in his voice is like, it hurts me. His head was slumping forward in the chair. I don't know. The choice is yours. Maha waited silently for his next words. Despite the late hour, she heard a helicopter in the distance. For some reason, it sounded really loud. She hadn't seen the news, but it was possible that the media was still talking about the gun battle that had taken place this afternoon.
これは君にだけは絶対に話すべきことだったのに。
Oh, look at me! When he finally spoke, his expression was unlike any look she'd ever seen on his face before. It was pain, sad, and suffering, like someone at the bottom of a deep, dark place. And yet there was something in his eyes that hinted at incredible self-hatred and rage.
岡部さん。
Suddenly, her chest felt like it was about to burst from pain. She didn't know where the pain was coming from, but she wanted Rintaro to stop looking at her like that.
あの日、
Oh, dude.
ラジカンでクリスを
His hands were forming some kind of shape, like he was holding an invisible knife.
クリスを殺したのは。
もういいわ。
She screamed, unable to take it anymore. She rolled out of bed, forgetting how she was dressed, and covered Rintaro's hands with her own.
いいの、もういい。それ以上言わなくていいから。私はあなたを信じているわ。だから話さなくていい。いつかその時が来たら嫌でも聞かせてもらうことになると思う。でもそれは今じゃない。その時が来るまでは口をつぐんでおきなさい。
She strengthened her grip and forced him to let go of the invisible knife. Rintaro nodded without saying another word. They simply stared at each other for a while. Maho couldn't look away from his gaze. It was as if he was clinging to something, or wandering in search of salvation. She sneezed.
風邪ひくぞ。
And it was only then that she realized that she was holding Rintaro's hands while wearing next to nothing. Ah, yes. Nailed it! Rintaro looked a little embarrassed.
ごめんなさい。
She quickly jumped back into the blankets. She curled up into a ball and tore at her hair, screaming inside her mind. She'd let a boy see her naked not once but twice.
私、今度こそもう寝るわ。
That's,
邪魔して悪かった。
fair. I'm hardly subtle myself, so get it.
邪魔だなんて思ってないわよ。
Hashtag autism things. Word.
でもさっきの話はこの場限りにしていい？いい？
あ、ありがとう。ヒヤジョさん。
お礼なんて言われる筋合いはないわ。それじゃあおやすみなさい。
おやすみ。
The room got quiet again. The adrenaline rush kept Maho awake. After a while, she heard snores coming from Rintaro's direction. Evidently, he'd fallen asleep. He must have been tired. He went through the same attack that Maho had. Of course he was. His breathing wasn't peaceful at all. It was pained. He may have been in the grip of some terrible nightmare. Maho hesitated several times, but finally she turned over and stretched out her hand from the blankets. She softly touched the back side of his hand. She felt its warmth under her fingertips.
クリスは
My man is like...
なんて呼んでいたのかしら。
He is permanently, like, sleep deprived and exhausted. I could totally see him, and not even when he's sleeping does he get to rest. Because then once he's asleep, he has to relive the fucking worst day of his life. Forever.
岡部さん
I say that as if, like, he doesn't have multiple of those. I wonder which horrifying, like, nightmarish experience he's living right now. I wonder which one he's dreaming about.
それとも凛太郎だったのかな。
She didn't know, but it didn't matter.
しっかりしなさい岡部凛太郎。この私が好きになった人はそんなに弱い男だったわけ？
She tried to think about how Kurisu would say those words. And eventually, Rintaro's breathing started to become more peaceful. Relieved, she let go, and then she changed her mind and grabbed the hem of his shirt again. She felt embarrassed, as if she was a little kid, but at the same time, she felt like now she might not have any more nightmares. My heart! That is an understatement. That night, for the first time in a long while, she dreamed of a smiling Kurisu. Maho and I stayed at Ferris's house for several days after that. Now that Kurisu's computer was destroyed, the odds that anyone would come after us had gone way down, but there was still a chance. That's true. She only smiled around Okabe when he wasn't looking. Just to be extra careful, I stayed away from the lab.
Maho, Rintaro.
Hey boy, what's up? Dr. Leskinen looked a little thinner since the last time I'd seen him. Oh yeah, also, fuck you. I got so excited by the funny that I forgot. Fuck this guy.
Maho mo taihen datta ne.
Dr. Leskinen held Maho tightly in his huge arms. The difference in size between them was so great that Maho looked like some kind of stuffed animal.
教授きついです。
Dr. Leskinen and Maho were leaving the country on the afternoon on a weekday, so I was the only one who could see them off. Since I'd been with Maho the whole time, instead of only seeing them off, I'd actually just brought her there. Maho, after all, was the kind of person who was incapable of getting to an airport on her own. Gotcha. I was amazed she'd survived this long, given her lack of basic skills. We'd held Maho's goodbye party last night at Ferris's house. Ferris was there, and so were Mayuri and Daru, and the others from the Christmas party. All were sad to see her go.
リンタロウ、マホと一緒にいてくれてありがとう。本当に世話になったね。
Yeah, that shot, yeah. It is so fascinating, like, how much gets recontextualized in Steins Gate after you've played or watched Zero. Like, you're like, oh, that's that. But you never know until this. It's crazy.
それで、うちの研究室にはいつ頃来られるのかな？
He wasn't kidding about that, huh?
勉強して少しでも早く行けるように頑張ります。その時は俺から連絡しても。
もちろんいつでも待っているからね。
I'm not gonna lie, like, every time Okabe laughs, every time he does his mad scientist laugh, I'm gonna be honest, I'll laugh too. I'll do it. Like, it's a Steins Gate. It's the choice of Steins Gate. He smiled as he took my hand and shook it. I was really glad to hear it. After meeting Amadeus, my desire to go to Victor Condria had only increased.
岡部さん、お礼を言わせて。
Agreed.
いろいろとありがとう。
I'm still like, it still surprises me how much I love Maho. Like, cause it's one of those things where, like, normally when it comes to a series that's like beloved, right? The characters that are introduced in like the sequel are usually, even if they're great characters, they're usually not as like, there's like a disconnect, right? There's like, oh, they're the new characters, right? Even if they're good, they weren't in the original. With Maho, it's like, it really does feel like she is just, she's always been here, right? I don't know how to explain it, but she's so, she's so great. She's easily, like, when it comes to Steins Gate characters, she's in my top 5, just in general. Easily. Probably number 2. Under Mayuri, of course. I just love Mayuri. Anyways, it's just bonkers how, like,
私は今頃命はなかったかもしれないわ。
what an amazing character she is. Yeah, she like just sort of slots in perfectly. She like, there's like a very, even if there is that moment, it's very brief, and it's just like, pretty much immediately she's like, just, yeah, oh yeah, Steins Gate. Maho. There she be.
大げさだな。
いいえ、本心よ。本当に感謝している。私もあなたのことを待っているから。頑張って。
あ、君も研究を頑張ってくれ。
Oh yeah. Definitely. In the next game, I agree.
事前に連絡しておいた通り、MTS のアクセス権は今日ここで解除させてもらうことになるんだ。いいね。
はい。
Did I see? What did I see? Did I see what? What? All caps, you're scaring me. What happened? What did I see? Apparently not. What did I not see? Oh, gotcha. I mean, makes sense I didn't see it. I'm not on Twitter, but Steins Gate will continue. I mean, I hope they're talking about... Hold on. I hope they're talking about this thing. They better be talking about this thing. Taking the crumbs. They better be talking about this fucking thing. Because if they're not talking about this thing, I'm gonna be mad. Make this thing. Make it. Make it. Finish it. Put it in my life, please. Give it to me. All right. Yeah, that's exciting. They just as older people, goddammit. Give me a happy, like, Hashira family. Give me, like, a happy, living their lives, full-ass Hashira family. Evidently, they couldn't leave me with access to Amadeus after they left the country. Normie Suzuha. I was only supposed to test her during their stay here anyway. Normie. I mean, to be fair, even Normie Suzuha isn't really Normie Suzuha. We kind of see her in, like, the linear bound of Pentagram thing, but, you know, who knows if that's, the one for... I mean, they kind of implied it was. Not interacting with everyone as they're older or something. I mean, we kind of got that in, robotics notes, but... Hashida Suzuha, right? Dude, I just want this game so badly. I want it. I want like... I'm just sad that I'm out of new stuff. Like, until they make that or localize the ones they haven't localized yet. Like a mother bird. Until they localize the Chaos ones they haven't localized yet, or give me the new one, I'm out of new stuff. I don't, and that hurts me, right? The last new thing was Anonymous Code, and I finished that a while ago. I'm jonesing, man. I'm jonesing for Science Adventure. Oh, speaking of Anonymous Code, I'm like putting together. I'm almost done with it. I'm putting together like a compilation. I just sort of went through and like stitched together some of my favorite parts. So I'm probably gonna like put that on YouTube or something. Just like a, I don't know if I want to call it a highlights thing, because that seems like self-congratulatory, but just like my favorite moments, which of course includes the birth of the ever-present Puss in Boots debate. Me and them. A few. There's a few. Dude, that was the funniest. It had been a while since I actually like saw where that started. I actually forgot what sparked it in the first place. Now I remember. But yeah, there was that. Yeah, a pretty good chunk of the like sections I picked were all right, I'm gonna continue. So fucking random. I mean, you made that a lot of fun too. So that was a pretty good time. That speaking of just in general, I just want to say, and then I promise I'll get back to this game that I'm currently playing. Anonymous Code was also just incredible. Like, I forgot how good that game was, and it's one of those things where I would love to just like reset my brain so I could play it for the first time again, but alas, can't do it. If I could just wipe my brain and just like experience all of Science Adventure for the first time again, I would so love to do that. Myself, that's fair. It still also blows my mind that I still can't believe I used to not like visual novels. I used to be one of those people who's just like, I don't get it. Where's the gameplay? Like, it's crazy. And now here I am, that being like my entire niche for fucking my internet thing. I don't know. It's great. I love the fact that I'm like playing these on. I think that's also true. Like I feel like I wouldn't enjoy these nearly as much if I was just playing them by myself. Because like, you know, that's what I did with the first time I played Zero, the first time I played Steins Gate, the first time I played actually no, those two. And then I started streaming them, and I gotta say, I'm so glad I decided to start streaming them. Like even before people were watching, it's just so much more fun, for me at least. Surprisingly gameplay heavy compared to the other visual novels. That's a like, I was doing like a tier list in my mind. I think I actually wrote it out at one point, but I don't think I saved it. I was doing like a tier list of like the science adventure games based on the story, based on the characters, and one of the things I was basing it on was like the gimmick, right? Because the Chaos games had the delusion trigger, Steins Gate has the phone trigger where you can like get the messages, and then Anonymous Code has the load trigger, right? The saving loading trigger or whatever. And I would say that like the best game of those that had the best gimmick was 100% Anonymous Code. I agree completely. It's like, it was just so, like, the attention to detail on it was so insane. Like the into the story, exactly. Like the fact that yeah, just the way they did it and the way that one of my personal favorites was the moment this win in my my highlights reel, so to speak, was the moment where like I tried to save and it was one of Polon's saves. I tried to save over one of his slots and it like a message popped up that says, "Don't even think about messing with my data." And I lost my mind because I was like, "Are you serious?" Oh, that was so great. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be really. They would have to try really hard. They'd have to do something pretty crazy. Cause like the thing about the if they put it into anime form, they would have to make Anon like a character, right? Because Anon is the player. So like what? Yeah, how do you anime that? How do you incorporate that aspect? Anyways, I'm gonna play the save. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play 0. I'm gonna go back to playing the game that I'm playing. Dude, when he talks to you, it's crazy. That was probably the hypest moment in the final stream. Like when it was just like full on tag team. That was incredible. I think that was the hypest I've ever been about any visual novel. Maybe even game. That might have been the most hype I ever felt playing a video game. That was so insanely hype. I was like shouting. I was like, yo! Okay. Steins Gate.
クリスに最後に挨拶するかい？
Fucking missile. Seriously.
そうですね。あ、じゃあ一言だけいいですか？
もちろん。
I tapped the icon for Amadeus.
何？私にもお別れの挨拶してくれるの？
Hello. Oh wait, hold on. I literally have that as a sound clip.
ハロー。
Kurisu was expressionless for some reason.
まあな。必要なかったか？
私なんかよりも先に真帆先輩には挨拶したんでしょうね。ちゃんとしたわよ。
I got 3 different hollows from Kurisu where she gets like progressively more annoyed with Okabe. So I have this one.
ハロー。
I have this one. I have this one.
ハロー。
She just gets progressively more irritated with him. Maho interjected before I could speak.
それならいいけど。
Dude, fucking Amadeus trying to play matchmaker. Never gets old. Kurisu was inside my screen. Was it a good thing that I'd spoken to her like this? Or a bad thing? In the end, I knew I needed to forget about Makise Kurisu, but I couldn't. I couldn't escape from this curse.
アクセス権がなくなったらもう会えなくなるな。
まあ、私の話し相手になってくれたことには多少は感謝してる。レスキネン教授の研究室に来る可能性はあるんでしょ？一応再会する時まであんたのことは覚えておいてあげる。
ツンデレだな。
ツンデレ？何それ？知らない言葉を使わないで。
顔が赤いぞ。
この子照れてるわね。
クリスはシャイだね。
もう教授まで。
元気でというのはちょっと違うな。君は別に病気にはならないわけだし。
Stay virus free, Kurisu.
あまりヒヤジョーさんのことをからかうなよ。
はいはい、言われなくても分かってるわよ。
それならいいんだ。
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Like, even just talking to Amadeus, like in this casual way, is kind of depressing, considering what happened in the last ending. Like, she seems pretty happy, but like, we know what that's like. It's
あ
fucked
んた
up.
がいつか
We
そ
know
ん
what
な
it's
風
like
に
in there.
寂しそうに笑うんじゃなくて、
Not good.
心の底から笑える日が来るといいわね。
Oh, Kurisu. I guess even an AI could see right through me. Makise Kurisu was one hell of a woman.
それじゃ
That's true. Yeah, it was in the last. I don't remember if the. I don't know if I should say things because I don't know if they were in the. I don't remember if they were in the anime, so I might be like visual novel spoiling for you. I don't know. I may have already done it. I'll stop talking now. Well, I won't stop talking. I'm gonna continue reading, but I'll stop talking about this. I'm still talking about it. Weird.
あ、
Kurisu disappeared from my screen. I turned to Dr. Leskinen and nodded, deleting the Amadeus icon from my screen. No!
アクセス権の解除は後でこちらで手続きしておくよ。テスターとして協力してくれてありがとう。貴重なデータが取れた。
こちらこそありがとうございました。
I bowed deeply to both Maho and Dr. Leskinen. As I watched their plane take off into the distance, I noticed that it felt like there was a hole in my heart. Yeah, Maho leaving will do that to you. I miss her already. I clutched my phone tightly. Its connection to Amadeus was gone. More goats on your way out. That's a weird way to phrase that. Oh, snap. Chapter change. That was all the same chapter. That's crazy.
か
No!
りちゃん、
My
今日から
Eri!
私とあなたは正式な親子になるのよ。
His grown up my Eri, no! I don't know why I'm knowing, but stop! Kaguri. This was when Kaguri was 6. She'd been living in a facility for war orphans and getting treatment at a dedicated clinic next door. Oh. It was a completely different place than the normal hospitals, which were overflowing with casualties from the war. It was an idyllic garden shut off from the despair of the outside world, so that the children could live in peace. That was where she'd met her mom. Mom, Sheena Mayuri, was a Class 2 caregiver at the facility who was always very nice to her. Of course she was! Mayuri! Why are you the best?
本当？ママがかがりの本当のママになるの？ええ、そうよ。やった！ママ！
It was impossible to express with words how happy Kaguri had felt. Being Mom's real daughter meant that Kaguri had become her real name. Kaguri became Sheena Kaguri.
ほら、くっつかないの。かがりちゃんは甘えん坊さんね。じゃあ、ここから出られるんだよね。ママと一緒に暮らせるんだよね。ごめんね。かが 係ちゃんにはもう少し治療が必要みたいなの。
Oh. It does, right? She's like, she's all grown up. She's a mommy now.
そういうことなんだ。
あ、先生。
Kaguri didn't know the doctor's name, but he was a nice old man who was always kind to her.
あと半年もすれば終わるからね。それまで我慢するんだよ。
半年もですか？この前のお話ではあと2週間ぐらいで大丈夫だと。
それは身体的な傷の話なんだ。東京大空襲で子供が受けた心的外傷後ストレスは大人の比ではないからね。
Great bombing of Tokyo. Jesus Christ.
それに昨日の診断で分かったことなんだが、かがりちゃんはまだ怖い夢を見るらしい。
そうなの？かがりちゃん。そんなことないもん。もう怖い夢なんて見ないよ。楽しい夢ばっかりだよ。楽しい楽しい。
かがりちゃん、嘘は良くないよ。それでは治療はもっと長引いてしまう。夜中に怖い夢にうなされて起きることが未だによくあるのだと昨日話してくれたよね。
まあ、そうなの。
この子の脳内に空爆の記憶が恐怖として残っている証拠だろうね。きちんと治療しておかなければ後で取り返しがつかなくなる。
そうですね。
というわけで治療を続けてもよろしいかね、お母さん。
はい。かがりちゃん、
I'm so mad right
頑張
now.
って悪い病気をやっつけようね。
Mom rubbed her head. Kaguri felt so at peace that she could cry.
わかった。
いい子だ。
じゃあまた後でね、かがりちゃん。ママ。
I'm so filled with conflicting emotions right now. Mom took her hand away, and instead, the doctor took Kaguri's hand. She was taken to the usual room. There was a white reclining chair, and next to it, some kind of mechanical system connected to a headset.
聞こえる。いつもの声。
君はママを守るんだ。
Mother?
この世界を守るんだ。そのために君は生まれてきたんだよ。
This mother. She couldn't remember when she started hearing the voice, but by the time she was 6, whenever she was worried, uncertain, or in trouble, she could hear it. It was always kind and strong, and it always cheered her up. In Kaguri's childish mind, she'd started to think it might be the voice of God. Since only she could hear it, everyone else just said it was just an illness, but Mom was the one person who believed her.
ママを守るんだ。だから治療頑張るんだ。
Kaguri's young heart was filled with the hope that she could someday live with Mom. Okay, cool, thanks. Thank you for that. I'm emotionally exhausted now. As soon as she opened the door, Shina Kaguri was struck by an unpleasant wave of heat. It was early June, and this was the first day to hit summer temperatures. It was hot enough that just walking outside would cause you to sweat, but this small Japanese-style room had thick curtains and the windows were closed. The room was dark and cramped, and there were so many clothes on the floor there was no place to stand. This isn't fucking Moika's apartment, is it? It wasn't just the clothes. There were all kinds of filthy things. Bags with half-eaten snack bread still in them, half-rotted food packs, plastic convenience store bags overflowing with trash, all scattered around the floor. Oh, no, it is? Okay, well... And the area around the half-naked girl sitting against the wall was covered in bandages and gauze soaked with blood and pus. That's disgusting, thank you. There were bandages tied around her exposed stomach, chest, and limbs, but these too were soaked with blood. The room was filled with a sickeningly sweet stench, though there was no way to know if it was coming from the garbage or coming from her. Why would it be sweet? I hate these descriptions. I assume this is from the there was like the armed conflict between the Rounders and the Russian dudes. She must have gotten shot up a little bit. I say a little bit. She got fucked up. The owner of the room, Kiryu Moeka, raised her head and looked at her, eyes filled with hope.
M4 まだ生きてたか。
When she saw Kaguri, who was still wearing her shoes as she came into the room, her shoulders slumped.
FB じゃない。
Dude, Moeka got fucked up.
命の恩人に向かってひどい言い草ね。
Moeka gave a painful cough and spit up some stomach fluid mixed with blood. Does Kaguri sound like Susan? I was just thinking that. She really does. I guess that's her serious voice. It stained her thighs and the floor. Yeah, I totally hear it. Her wounds must have opened again because the bandages around her stomach began to turn red. She'd spent 5 months like this, with no treatment from a doctor. Moeka had gotten into a gunfight with the Russian army and failed her mission as a rounder. She lost her— Wait, so she's been just, like, bleeding out for like 5 months? Jesus Christ! No wonder she's so fucked up. She'd lost 2 of her companions, and her target, Makise Kurisu's laptop, was also destroyed. They pinned the blame on her. She was wounded and almost killed. It's not that they don't have the same voice actor. It's just, I guess she's just like doing a serious voice. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if like Kaguri, when Kaguri wants to do a serious voice, she kind of sounds like Suzuha, because like that, I guess maybe that was like her role model when it comes to being serious. I don't know. It was Kaguri who saved her and brought her to this room. But if someone with a gunshot wound went to the hospital, the police would be notified. And for that reason, she'd never gotten any real treatment. Jesus fucking Christ. Her wounds had become infected, and even 5 months later, they still brought her incredible pain. Her terrible fever hadn't let up at all, and it wasn't rare for it to go from 39 degrees to over 40. But Moeka didn't seem very interested in her wounds. She was more interested in sending messages with the phone in her hands. She must have been sending more messages to her beloved boss. In the past 5 months, she'd almost sent 1,000. Sent almost 1,000.
どうして FB どうして返事をくれないの
FB was Moeka's boss in the Rounders. A woman who always gave orders to Moeka via email. Moeka worshipped her to a degree that far exceeded what could occur within a normal employee relationship. Yeah, she's definitely not an employee. The shock of being abandoned by FB had hurt her many times more than her actual wounds. Alright, yeah, have a good one. Hopefully you catch up soon so you can pop in and say more things. I don't know. Have a wonderful day. Night. It's night. Have a wonderful night is what I meant to say. God damn it. Time zones, man. Bye. Kaguri tossed the bag she'd slung over her shoulder at Moeka's feet, along with 2 plastic bags. The backpack was filled with medicine that wasn't available without a doctor's prescription. Along with it was a whole box of illegal drugs used only for the treatment of severe pain. Normally these would have been kept under strict control at a hospital, where no normal person could get them. Both of the plastic bags were filled with canned goods and other things Kagri had chosen because they had the lowest probability of spoiling.
生きる気がなくなったら言うといいわ。代わりに毒でも持ってきてあげるから。
She really does sound like Suzanne. But Moeka didn't seem to notice Kagri at all anymore. She was completely unresponsive. Kagri had gotten used to her attitude over the past 5 months. But she wasn't just going to go home for today. She wordlessly reached for Moeka's cell phone. Moeka tried to resist, but evidently she had no strength left. Kagri was easily able to grab the phone. It was covered in blood and pus, but Kagri forced it into her pocket without hesitation. That's fucking gross. Moeka started crawling toward her. It was like something out of a zombie movie.
勘違いしないで。FB から新しい命令よ。
Moeka froze.
FB の命令。そう、受け取りなさい。
Kagri took another cell phone out of her pocket. It was the same Japanese cell phone that Moeka had been using, minus the dirt and bloodstains.
今までの回線はロシアやアメリカの諜報部に傍受されていて使えないわ。だから今後はこっちを使って指令が来る。
Moeka reached a trembling hand out toward the phone. And in an instant, she snatched it away and clutched it to her chest like it was her own child.
FB はこの携帯ならメールをくれるの？多分もう来てるはずよ。
Moeka quickly opened the screen on the phone. When she saw the words on the screen, tears started to flow down her face. Oh, stop with this fucking manipulative bullshit!
私の可愛い娘。大変だったわね。私もとても心を痛めています。失敗したことは残念だったけれど、あなたが生きていてくれて本当によかった。早く傷を治して私からの次のメールを待っていてね。今度こそ任務を完全に遂行し、私の信頼を取り戻してあなたのことを心から信じていますからね。私の大切な大切な娘 FB よりわざわざ読み上げなくてもいいのに。
Of course, this message wasn't from FB. Kagri had written it herself. Keep someone at the brink of death for 5 months, then give them exactly what they want as bait. You could easily put anyone under your control. God fucking damn, that's awful. Kagri knew this well. The life suddenly returned to Moeka's face. She spilled out the contents of Kaguri's backpack like a woman possessed.
傷を治したいの。FB の信頼 答えなくちゃ。それでいい、M4。
Kaguri smiled, satisfied, and knelt down in front of her.
私が治療してあげるわ。包帯を全部取りなさい。
When Kaguri left the apartment, the sun had set. She spent several hours treating Moeka's wounds. Her hands still smelled of medicine. It wouldn't go away for days, possibly. She sighed and put on her full-face motorcycle helmet, then went to the parking lot and got on her bike.
神様の声、そろそろ聞こえるかな。
She whispered. Jesus Christ. She took off on her motorcycle. Oh boy. I think I want to call it for today. Yeah. I switched the, what's the word? I got chapter. I got a chapter change, and, you know, it's been a bit, and that seems like a good place to leave it off, so I'm gonna call it for today. I also am just hungry. Like I said, I think I said this way at the beginning. I didn't eat anything today. I'm hungry. Don't know why I'm talking like that. So, I'm gonna head out. Bye.